The county health department will step in and declare things like the outbreaks and manage the quarantine conversations. Does that take some of the pressure off of you and your school board members?
That's going to be a tremendous assistance to school board members and to our administrators, not just here in the superintendent's office, but the administrators that are going to be mostly on the front end of this and at the tip of the spear are going to be your principals and assistant principals. They are the ones that are going to be facing angry parents and upset members of the public. And to have the county health department step in and prescribe, if you will, how many days each student or employee needs to sit out, either in quarantine or isolation, depoliticizes it for us, especially when you start talking about quarantine and isolation requirements and how they may differ for vaccinated versus unvaccinated students or employees. We just don't want to be in the middle of that as this issue becomes more heavily politicized as the days go by.
Classrooms look differently than they have in the past. Things like plexiglass. Will cohorts be in the cafeteria so you don't have all the mingling?
We're significantly compromised in our ability to abide by CDC guidance or guidelines. We're going to have students that are going to be sitting a lot closer than 6 feet, even 3 feet. We're going to have students that are not going to be wearing masks. We're going to have students that will be wearing masks. I want to pledge to all of our parents that ask their kids to wear masks. We will be, to the best of our ability, helping you by enforcing those students that you give us permission to through your parental authority, that you want them wearing masks. We're going to work with our teachers to make sure that the kids that have been identified as their parents wanting them to wear masks, that we are going to be tracking them throughout the day to make sure that they keep those masks on. So we're going to do what is within the realm of our authority, what's in the realm of reason, to be able to support the parents that still want their kids wearing masks. There's going to be a number of our classrooms that will still be utilizing not necessarily plexiglass, but we've got some plastic dividers. In some cases, we have small plexiglass dividers between students. But as your class sizes grow, your ability to use those devices is significantly compromised. So I think we're going to see less and less of that. But the good news is we're still going to have air purification units inside every classroom, every common area, every office, and just about every place on all of our campuses and district buildings. So that's good. We're still going to have COVID-19 rapid antigen testing available on site at all of our sites in our health services offices, so that employees and students presenting with symptoms can get tested absolutely immediately, and they can be identified and called into the Pima County Health Department. So it's not all doom and gloom. We still have some very, very effective mitigation strategies that will be in play as we start school on August 5th.
Pima County has what may seem like a low threshold when it comes to declaring an outbreak. 2 students who are somehow linked, and then it would have to declare an outbreak. Do you have the staff to support if everybody has to go home or go into a quarantine space?
We do. That's something that we got really, really good at in 2020. We have the infrastructure now. USD deployed just shy of 25,000 Chromebooks across the district. We are effectively now, when you combine the devices that the district is able to provide to students, and the 30 or 40% of our district that already has their own devices, families that through their own means have been able to provide iPads or Chromebooks to their kids. When you combine those two segments of our student body, we're pretty much a one-to-one district at this point. So that infrastructure now allows us to roll into remote learning at a moment's notice if there is an outbreak. If we have to close a classroom, if we have to close a grade level, if we have to close a school, we're fully confident now that the infrastructure exists that will be able to serve those hundreds of kids remotely for the 10 or 14 days that they may be in quarantine or isolation.
To comply with the state law, you have to be very careful about the language you use when vaccines or masks are even being discussed. What sort of guidance will you offer your teachers when students are teasing each other about masks or vaccines, or teachers want to offer their thoughts on science?
We have existing governing board policy around espousing one's personal, political, religious, or social beliefs, or using our positions inside of the district to espouse a particular partisan or religious belief. And unfortunately now, talking about science and talking about aspects of the pandemic that's supposed to keep everybody safe is now kind of in that category. We're working really, really hard with our teachers and our principals right now to practice grace and neutrality and to treat everybody the same. We're going to see some very extreme behaviors from the public on both sides as they come into our school offices. We have folks on one side angry with us that we're not enforcing masks for 100% of the student body or for employees, not thoroughly understanding that we can't. And then we have folks equally angry with us that we're not banning masks and not going 100% maskless and wanting us to take Senate Bill 2898 and use it to say, not only should you not be masks optional, you should be masks banned. Everybody needs to be maskless. So unfortunately, we're caught in the middle, and the challenge is going to have to be how we create an environment of mutual respect and tolerance around these two very, very diverse and extreme points of view around this issue.
Yeah, interesting year ahead.
It's going to be very interesting.
All right, Dr. Trujillo from Tucson Unified School District, thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. Always good to be back.